Hey guys, it's Jaylon, and joining me today is Ziggy, and we are here to do my introduction for my 2021 Pan That palette. I have been doing a Pan That palette project for 3 or 4 years now. I think that's about right. So for 2021, I'm going to be joining the Fantastic Ladies for another Pan That palette, and the theme for 2021 is tiny pans. So for last year I did the Modern Renaissance, and with the crap year that we had in 2020, it's still kind of happening. Hasn't quite ended. I didn't do as well as I had hoped. I finished 5 shades almost, and I still have I have 2 that are like close, and I had really wanted to finish 4 more. No, three more. I had really wanted to finish these 3 shades as well. Yeah, that's right. And so I'm really close on, obviously, on Cypress Umber, and I'll get Primavera done soon. I don't know if you can tell, but it's been repressed. And it's close, but I kind of crapped out on it. I think a lot of people didn't do as hot on their Pan That palettes in 2020 as they would have liked. So 2021 is a new year. And so anyway, the project for 2021 in the Fantastic Ladies collab group is tiny pans. And so what I did for this project is I scoured all my palettes to see which one not simply had like the smallest pans, but had the least amount of shadow in each pan. So regardless of how many pans were in the palette, I wanted the least weight as terms of the amount of shadow in each pan. And so what I ended up determining is that the Lorac palettes, the regular palettes, tended to have the least amount of shadow in my collection out of all the palettes that I owned. And I also didn't want to pick a palette that was like 5 pans. I wanted a, at least 8-ish pan palette. Because I think for like a 5 pan palette, I would consider that like a tiny pans or like a small palette. So I wanted a pretty significant palette. So the palette that I ended up going with is actually one of my older palettes, and it's the Lorac Pro 3. And it's one of the first Lorac Pro palettes that I purchased. Actually, I think it is the first one I purchased. And this is what it looks like. So I have sort of started using this kind of towards the end of 2020, and I'd used it obviously I'd used it a little bit previous to that, so it's not brand spanking new. I'm having a hard time seeing. It's not brand spanking new. I mean, I do have some use in like this almond pearl shade, as well as cool taupe. There's a little bit of use there. There's a little bit of dip and clay. Dark mocha has a little bit of use as well. And I think even pink nude has some use. For me, I'm not going to worry about these last 2 shades because I don't use black shadow typically. I'm not a black shadow person, so those 2 are like, I'm not. If I hit pan and truffle, it'll be a miracle. They're not really gonna be my focus. The weight in each of these pans is 0.2 grams. Is that right? I believe that's right. I think it's 0.2 ounces. 0.02 ounces. 0.02 ounces. Yes. Yeah, 0.02 ounces. is the weight of each of these shadows. So I think all of my other shadows were at least 0.03 ounces. So this is by far, I think all the Lorac shadows, or palettes, excuse me, were about the same in term, or, you know, they're all the same in terms of weight. I just chose this one because it's my oldest one. So I am very excited to get this sucker out of my collection. I don't have any usage goals that I'm going to start with. I'm just going to start working on it and just see where I go. I will say that I'm going to definitely use these two lighter shades in kind of to set my primer for sure. Those are kind of going to be the first thing that I do. And I'll probably use these two not only on my lid, but also in the inner corner. So we'll see how it goes. And I'll definitely update you guys, you know, obviously monthly on how I'm doing with this. Hopefully I can get good use on this puppy. I do hear a lot of people say that these are easy palettes to pan because there's a lot of kick up in terms of their powdery shadows. So I hope that's true because I would love to get this puppy out of my collection. So anyway, would love to see what everybody else is panning in terms of their palettes for 2021. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.